Technique 5. Making shapes from fine foliage offcuts or scraps. This technique is an excellent way of making a special foliage feature using offcuts or discarded ends of fine foliage. It will work with any foliage that is fine enough to be completely coated in glue. I've found that the best types of foliage are either asparagus fern or tiki fern, both of which I use in many designs, so I always have some discarded ends and pieces. You will need at least 12 hours for the shapes to dry completely before you use them. For this technique, you will need some plastic film or wrap or an old plastic bag to work on, PVA or craft type glue, a plastic bowl or container, marker pen, wire for the desired shape you are making, stem tape, scissors and fine foliage. Cut the wire and form the shape you require. In this example I am making some crescent shapes that will eventually be joined back to back. The ends of the wire here are bent to make it easier for me to incorporate this into my finished design. Cover the wire with parafilm or paper tape. Using the wire shape as a template, draw the shape onto your plastic worksheet using the marker pen. Cut up all the foliage with scissors into pieces about 5 centimeters or smaller. Place in the plastic container. The amount of foliage pieces you will need will depend on how dense you want the shape to be. Pour in a generous amount of glue and mix thoroughly. This is the messy but fun part of the technique. All the foliage needs to be completely coated with glue. Lay out the glue-coated foliage onto the lines marked on your work plastic, forming the shape required. Continue until you are happy with both the shape and the density of the foliage. Leave to dry completely at least 12 hours. The drying time will depend on how green your foliage was when you cut it up. When the shape is dry, peel away from the plastic worksheet. The shape can be used as is or glued to the wire shapes you made at the start of the technique. If you are gluing to the wire, florist glue, also called cold glue, will work the best. You can make any shape with this technique. Here I've made a star that formed the base of a bridal bouquet. This is another technique that gives you reusable items. Here is the star 5 years later, still good for designs where I'm permitted to use dried material. The crescents that were made in the photos for these instructions have been glued to the wire supports and incorporated into a competition piece called Waste into Art, which incidentally won second place. I know you'll find many ways to use these techniques in your floral designs. Let me know how you go. I'd love to see some of your efforts. I'm Kim Bailey.